Really, the opening day of training camp for your Cincinnati Bengals, the NFL, springing back into action. And here to discuss, our good friend Dave Lapham. And Lap, what do you think? This is one of those years after the year the guys had last year, where let's face it, let's go back a year and think about how everybody was like, what's going to happen with this team? Hey, if they go 9-8, that's going to be a win. That's going to be a big time win, man. And then they almost go win the freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's crazy. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to visit, Eddie, Jason. I mean,
always a pleasure.
I'm watching
Absolutely.
the first practice at Paul Brown Stadium at training camp. They're running a little team stuff right now, offense against defense. No pads, so no shoulder pads, just helmets. So the first 4 days of training camp, they're in the ramp-up period. And, obviously no Joe Burrow with the appendicitis and the laparoscopy to take out the appendix. And he'll probably be out, I don't know, I'm thinking a couple of weeks anyway. And it just cements in my mind, he wouldn't take a snap in the preseason, in my estimation. But we'll see. We'll see what unfolds there. And other guys are going to get an opportunity to step up and make some plays. But, boy, Jamar Chase looks unbelievable. He's 5 pounds lighter than he was last year. He worked with the track coach and working on his speed. He looks cut. He looks chiseled. And Tee Higgins, after having that shoulder surgery, I mean, his shoulder, I was talking to the locker room earlier today, his shoulder would actually, subluxes would roll out on him at times, even with the brace, and, have to pop back into place. And, guys play hurt all the time, but not a whole lot of guys will play injured like that, and he did and sucked it up and played at a high level. So I've got a lot of respect and give him a lot of credit because, he made some big plays for him when they had you down the stretch. Like you guys said, they were 7-6 at the end of November, and you lose to the New York Jets. It's like, hey, you start to scratch your head a little bit. And is this team what you think it is? And they just got hot at the right time. They had a lot of takeaways, defensive takeaways, interceptions, fumbles, and took care of the football and played their best football at the most opportune time. The last 4 games of the season, Joe Burrow played in 11 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Wow. And
then in the playoffs, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. So his touchdown ratio was off the charts when it had to be.
Lap, you were there on this day last year, the first day of training camp, and obviously no Joe Burrow this year, and there was a lot of excitement with Joe coming back from the injury last year. But is there can you feel it? Can you see it? Is there a whole different level of energy there right now? Like, take us to the field right now.
Yeah, I think that you're right, Jason. I mean, I think there's an air of confidence, but, it can't be cockiness. There's a difference there. Mm-hmm. And what you have to do is wipe the slate clean. But in so doing, don't forget how hard you worked to get there. Don't forget the sacrifices that had to be made to get there, to win down the stretch like they did, to play their best football at the most opportune time. And this year, the way the schedule is, the last 8 games of the season, my God, you've got to have a pretty good record going into them because, that's going to be a challenge. So you have to get off to a faster start than they did last year, and you hope that they might continue the level of play from last year. But there's certainly no guarantee that they're just going to be able to turn it on and pick it up right where they left off last year. That's not going to happen. There's going to be some different players. There are already some different assistant coaches. I mean, there's a different composition to the team, but I do think that the levels that they achieved last year gives them an air of confidence. I think they believe that there's still some upside. They haven't played their best football yet, but they're getting there.
And Lap, let's face facts. This Burrow situation with the appendicitis, man, if it's going to happen right now, because you said he probably wasn't going to take us more than a snap or 2, maybe in preseason. Now you get it out of the way now. It doesn't happen, say, Halloween when the kid's got to miss 2 games. That would be not good.
Absolutely. Anytime, like we talked about the last 8 games of the season, the second half of the season, anytime during that stretch, the last couple of months of the regular season, if Joe Burrow were to have, appendicitis and have to have surgery and miss time, that'd be critical.
Right.
So it could have been a heck of a lot worse. The timing, if it had to happen, the timing is about as good as you can ask for. There's no doubt about that.
So coming up, we're going to be talking to Tony Pike with our training camp report starting today. And Lap, I wanted to get your opinion because I know I got a feeling you might have a little something to say, and I'm sure you have seen this about Kyler Murray's contract. The kid with the Cardinals who just signed, what was it, 250, 270, something like that. It was in that neighborhood for 5 years. And part of the contract was he is now obligated to do 4 hours of film study a week. Now, let me tell you something. To your layman, that doesn't sound like too much to ask of somebody making that kind of money in the National Football League. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because I guarantee you do 10 hours of film study a week to prepare to call a game.
It's confusing because, like you said, his deal, turning $36 million, 160 of it guaranteed. So almost $250 million you're committing to the quarterback, and you're saying, by the way, I'm going to have a clause in the contract where I'm going to guarantee and make you do some extra work at home without playing video games or watching TV and so doing, because they can monitor, the iPads they distribute. They can tell if it's, uninterrupted, concentrated time, studying tape. So all they're asking for, 4 hours a week.
Right.
Peyton Manning is scratching his head like, what? I mean, every quarterback in the National Football League that had success, it's a minimum of 4 hours a day,
right?
Not a week.
Yeah.
It's a minimum of 4 hours a day. So to say that, okay, we're going to give you almost $250 million and guarantee $160 million of it, that's life-changing money for your entire family, not just you. But we're not sure if we can trust you to prep for the game. Why the hell do you give them the money if you can't? If there's not trust there, it's a very confusing thing. And I'll tell you, when it went public, real embarrassing. I mean, his agent. If you're going to do something like that, maybe the agent works it out with the organization where you keep that kind of thing quiet and you don't put it in a clause in the contract. Maybe it's something that is private between the player and the organization, because he's getting toasted, he's getting grilled, and everybody's got egg in their face and every place else in their body, I think.
All right, Lap. Thanks for checking in with us. I know you got stuff to do there, but really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Lap.
No problem, guys. Have a good one.